everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
Yes, we did.
So it is a brand new movie, just released on Netflix, and it is called Enola Holmes. So Enola is a young woman about to turn 16, growing up in 19th century England. She lives in a big house, just her and her mother, and I think a housekeeper. And her mother is a bit of an odd duck. Her mother, Eudoria. So, Enola. Enola is a strange name, you may be thinking.
I do think that.
And you should. Enola believes that her mother gave it to her because it is the word alone spelled backwards. And Eudoria, one of her principles in educating her daughter herself, she's not trying to raise a polite young woman. She is trying to raise a young woman who will be able to take care of herself and be independent. So maybe alone, it has that sort of significance for them. So it's just Enola. Enola played by Millie Bobby Brown, who Netflix fans will probably recognize as 11 from Stranger Things. That's right. And Eudoria, played by the fabulous HBC, Helena Bonham Carter. They actually make a good pair, those two. And so we see them sometimes through flashbacks, just growing up just together, because Enola's father passed away when she was quite young. She doesn't even remember him. She has two much older brothers, but they left the home years and years ago, so she hardly even remembers them. So it's really just been her and her mother. And they live in a sort of isolated countryside manner. So she is not worldly, but she is extremely well read. Like I said, the mother educates her herself. She's never had a governess. So she has read every book in the Holmes library. But she also trains with her mother physically. They do martial arts and stuff together. So it's kind of an odd upbringing for someone of her gender and age. All of these things that a polite young society woman probably should not be. She should be learning to play the piano and embroider. And she hasn't.
If she wants to get a husband.
Exactly. So on her 16th birthday, she wakes up and finds that she is alone in the house. Her mother has disappeared. So that's a problem for lots of reasons. But mainly because she has to call in these brothers who she's going to meet at the train station and hardly even remembers what they look like. So it's a bit awkward. A bit awkward of a homecoming. Of course, the last time they saw her, she was a little girl, and now she's 16. So it goes both ways. But eventually they do arrive, and you may have heard of Sherlock, her older brother, Sherlock Holmes, and their oldest brother, Mycroft. So the Holmes boys have come home now that their mother has disappeared, and they have a little sister that somehow has become their ward. Even though neither of these men, as brilliant as they may be, neither is equipped to take care of anyone, even themselves.
No, that's pretty consistent
yes,
across the
right?
Sherlock mythology.
yes.
Yeah.
So Sherlock is played by Henry Cavill, and Mycroft by Sam Claflin. So Mycroft, being the elder brother, takes on responsibility for his sister. He tells Sherlock, you look for the mother, you're the mystery solver, the detective, you find the mother, I will find a boarding school to send our sister to. So he is really kind of appalled by her lack of social graces and wants to just send her to finishing school so that she can learn to be the polite young woman. Exactly. Yes. I mean, he's just so horrified by this. Yes, it offends him to his prim and proper core. How did this mother raise these two stuck-up weirdos?
It seems very strange, a weird combination.
Yes. But anyways, once Enola gets wind of this, she is not happy with, just now that she's almost a grown-up anyways, now she's going to have to be forced to go away to school and live somebody else's life. So she takes off. And I mean, they should have seen it coming. So when she's on the open road running away, she finds another fellow teen runaway in Lord Tewkesbury, actually. So he's a young man. His father has just died, making him, the inheritor of the estate. He is the new lord. And he's going to have to live a life that he would not have chosen for himself either. So he also absconds. He is played by Lewis Partridge. So they hit the road together, hitchhike all the way to London, where they both think they can disappear. And then they go their separate ways. She finds him quite useless, actually, and has to fight his battles for him, because he's not just a runaway. Somebody wants him dead, basically. There's some weird stuff going on in his family. So they're both in London. We lose track of him when she lets him go. But now there's somebody also following her for nefarious reasons. She has to somehow stay one step ahead of her older brother Sherlock. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's kind of a notorious detective, though. He's quite successful.
He has been, yes.
Has quite a reputation of being pretty on the ball, So it's hard to evade a guy like Sherlock.
But if anyone can do it, it's his sister.
Yes. Well, it's quite embarrassing because his mother has disappeared, his sister has disappeared, the family of the Lord that's disappeared tries to hire him, and he's like, I already have a lot on my plate. Then once he hears that the sister and the Lord might be connected, he's looking for 3 people in London, and he can't find anyone. So, it did make me feel like maybe Watson plays a more integral part of the whole process than we have been led to believe.
He's just modest as he's recording all of these adventures.
Yes, because he was not in this movie and
things didn't go well.
Not for Sherlock. Yeah. Enola, however, clearly has her own beautiful mind. She's pretty good at this. At helping out the Lord Tewkesbury and herself, and she's tracking her mother. There's a lot of weird political stuff going on. Somebody's trying to kill her, and she's just a 16-year-old girl who, again, has been raised in isolation. So the whole world is new to her, and she's trying to blend in, sometimes as a high society woman and sometimes as a dude, with mixed results both ways. And learning some harsh lessons about real life and with the price that people are willing to pay for votes, basically.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Democracy at its finest.
Well, it's recognizable, isn't it? So I actually thought that this was a great movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. Enola is super spirited. She's a plucky woman. She's clearly witty. She's an intellectual, but she's not single-minded like Sherlock. And again, this is Henry Cavill. It's not like Benedict Cumberbatch adjacent or anything like that. This is its own universe. Enola Holmes is actually a series of novels written by Nancy Springer. So this is potentially a series
franchise
for Netflix. Although Netflix didn't make this, they just acquired it. This was supposed to have gotten a theatrical release, and then when COVID happened, Netflix bought it. But it certainly does have a franchise appeal. And I did I liked seeing Sherlock in the universe, but not be the focus of it. I liked seeing him bested by his little sister. And so we don't see that much of him on the case, but he's definitely not portrayed the same way Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, brilliantly portrays him. But the universe is big enough for different ideas of who Sherlock is. But yes, Benedict Cumberbatch's was almost autistic.
Yeah.
He can't really deal with the world. He's not a part of the world. He really doesn't feel like he's a part of the world.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't know how to handle people. He eschews people, and he's very focused, laser focused, and single-minded about his cases. And his sister's not like that at all. Even though she is a fish out of water, she is very much on land. She's grounded, and she's a real person. And so she is a product of her time, but also maybe ahead of the times. And I think the mother is too. So I really liked that about her, that she's a more realistic sort of girl detective than her brother is. But she's not bad at it. She's really not bad at it. So I did love...
Family.
Yeah, I guess it does. And I don't really care for Sam Claflin, to be honest, but he is pretty good at playing stick up his butt old Mycroft. I actually think Mycroft is portrayed a little more sympathetically in the Benedict Cumberbatch series, believe it or not. He's got a big mustache and he's just, he's a crankpot. He's a real curmudgeon and a stickler for the roles, I guess, in this. But I really liked how it all came together. I liked that we were in the Holmes family, the Holmes universe, but it really wasn't about him. I liked that he was admiring of his little sister. And she was not above using his good name to get into some doors. And they did open some doors. He did have a reputation. He's younger maybe than the Benedict Cumberbatch version, but he's definitely got a name. She's dropping it all over London. But yeah, I kind of liked her little adventure. It wasn't so much of a mystery. Definitely she's finding clues. She loves a good cipher. Her and her mother do a lot of ciphers together. But yeah, she's also just a lonely and lost little girl, teenage girl. But she's figuring out who she is because she was raised by her mother and now her brother wants to take over her life. But she has to find her own path and figure out what she wants and how she can get it. Because for a woman in like 1886, say, it was not really easy to live your own life, to have any sort of independence. And maybe to be truly independent, you had to escape into the night, like her mother did. So I think that this is a really fun movie. I enjoyed it. I think it's great family viewing because it is a good adventure movie, but it is safe for all ages, really. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a bit of a surprise that I enjoyed it as much as I did. I don't think this is like a cast that I am automatically drawn to, but it was well cast. People are making a fence in our backyard and our dogs are really mad about it. Sorry, guys.
They'll be happy at the end when it's done.
When we can let them out, yes. This fence, they told us they were going to start 3 months ago. They actually started 3 weeks ago, and it's ongoing. And the dogs are furious.
It hasn't been ongoing for 2.5 of those weeks.
That's right. They've just suddenly reappeared. Out of nowhere, really. Just like Enola Holmes. Anyways, it was kind of fun to situate her in that time period, and Sherlock never has to contend with those things. He is a white male of privilege, so he very easily gets in and out of all of these situations, but it is not as easy for his little sister. So I think that's an interesting side of the story that we haven't heard. And I definitely would like to see more of these. So I do hope it gets picked up as a series.
So make
I would
more
not mind at all.
Netflix, make more.
That's right.
For Jay.
For all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because Jay's asking.
Okay, thanks. I can handle that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.